Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Happy Monday. Hope you are all having a fantastic day. Oh, it is beautiful in New York. Yes. Hopefully it stays that way tomorrow as well. It's so funny. I was outside and I ran into the most beautiful sunflower. I posted a photo of it on our community page for our 2 cent screw. So you saw my little flower on my walkout this morning. Is just absolutely gorgeous in New York. So I'm hoping that it stays that way tomorrow. Our faves will be in town. And so I am very excited to be for that. And last time I was they were here and I was able to go and try to take pictures. It was raining like crazy. And so and so that was it was last December at the I forgot the Kennedy, what's Kerry Kennedy's Robert Kennedy Award thing. And so it was just raining and raining and raining. So today is beautiful, so hopefully we'll bottle that weather, and then tomorrow it will be just as beautiful, like that kind of weather in that picture. So yeah, so I mean, I'm assuming they're already here. I'm assuming they're here already, hopefully, and just ready to getting ready for tomorrow. But as you know, this is a beautiful shot. I love this shot. I guess a helicopter or a drone shot above New York, and that's Central Park right there, smack in the middle of the city. And yes, it is a the park is really fantastic. I love Central Park. Anyways, but hello to all my friends in the chat. How are you all doing? I hope you are all doing good. Let me just say hello for a couple of seconds to our friends in the chat. Hello, Rafaela. How are you? And thank you for being here. And our awesome moderator, Karen M, is here. Hello, Karen. And Judy. Judy Muktasid. I don't know that I've seen you here before, Judy. So welcome. Just in case you were here and I just didn't notice, I am sorry, but I'm happy you're here. So Annie is here. Hello, Annie Bullard. And Ann Lewis is here. Hello. It's like, hope you had a wonderful weekend, no matter where you are located in the world. You're so sweet, Anne. You are such a darling. Let's see who else is in the chat. Louise is here. Hello, Louise. How are you? Let's see who is in the chat. Judy. Oh, wait, I just said Judy. Judy, we're saying hello to you again. Anita is here and Janice is here. Hello, guys. Who else is here? Sharon is here and Dolores is here. Janice is here. Said Janice already. Let's see. Alma is here. Auntie Jade is here. Kenitha is here. Hello, guys. Awesome moderator. Black Queen is here. And thank you, Black Queen. Just reminding everyone, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Do that little, whatever that little scrolly thing at the bottom says, go do that one. If you have not already, please do so. Subscribe. And, click that notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Thank you very much. And like and share the video. Thank you to all of you who've been liking and sharing. And please join the channel as well. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Black Queen. And let's see. Gwen is here. And I think everyone. Fancy is here. Hello, Fancy. How are you? And we'll say hello to all of our other friends as they come in as we go along. But yes, we are all excited for our faves tomorrow at 1:30 down at the Hudson Yard. They will be having the mental health seminar. That's part of Project Healthy Minds. And so we are very much looking forward to that. And obviously, if you remember this photo, also why I chose this photo was the last time we saw them like that. It was in Central Park for the what was it again? Oh gosh, no, all of a sudden I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting what they are. Global Citizens Live. Oh, goodness, I just completely forgot Global Citizens. Global Citizens Live concert in support or really advocating for vaccine equity. So they were in the park also with the U.S. ambassador to the UN. They met her earlier in the day and then they introduced her on stage after they spoke. And see Harry and Meghan both still having their mic there in their hands. And so that's why I chose that picture for that beautiful Central Park shot. So anyways, I'm gonna go down there again. I'm hoping to that it doesn't rain. Please let it not be rain. And again, it's smack in the middle of the day, so it'll be great. And so will we see them? We'll have to like figure out where, because where they'll probably come in, whatever. Again, there are no tickets. It was sold out like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so after it went up, and I didn't have any tickets. So I'm going to be outside trying to see if I can get a picture somehow, some way, figure out, where they'll be coming and going. So, and I'm sure others as well who don't have tickets. So, but very excited. Very, very excited to see, hopefully see them tomorrow. That would be really, really wonderful. And also a little bit about the seminar, if just in case you don't know about it. It's tomorrow is World Mental Health Day, and so Project Healthy Minds is doing the seminar. It's actually an all-day seminar, so they're going to be like a bunch of other people there, like Anderson Cooper and others, going to be there doing seminars throughout the day. And one of those is the Archewell Foundation Parent Summit, and that's going to be hosted by Carson Daly. That's him at the bottom there. And well, let me move myself because I'm like totally blocking Harry and Meghan there. And let me move my little scrolly banner so that way it's not blocking anything. There we go. And so that's going to be hosted again by Carson Daly. That's him down at the bottom there. And also our Surgeon General, the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy. And also, and yeah, again, hosted by Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation. That's going to be part of the Project Healthy Minds all-day seminar. And so obviously, again, they are one of the ones that has been sold out. I think they were still advertising another one. I think that's obviously not sold out. And so it says a little bit about it. Join NBC's Carson Daly and parents for a discussion on building community and creating positive change for a safer online world for young people, with special guests Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy. So very much looking forward to it again. I hope that the people who got it were, obviously the parents, which is most important. And also part of the whole thing is the parents and I guess the teens that's going to be there are people that Harry and Meghan have been working with for the entire past year. So it's not just something they're just coming in and kind of, we're here to learn. Well, I'm sure they're going to be learning too. But these are people that with whom they have been working with, I guess around the country maybe. But we definitely know that they were working with AHA, which is a group in Santa Barbara that really focus on teens and parents, including all, to work towards, some solutions for especially teens on social media, and really focusing on their mental health, make sure that they are safe online and make sure that they are mentally sound when dealing with online issues. So again, this has been something that they've been kids and stuff, they've been working with all of this time. So it'd be very interesting. I don't know yet if it's going to be online. I don't know. I haven't heard. If you guys have heard, please let me know, because I have not heard if it's going to be streaming. I have no idea. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. And so I'm waiting to see if it's, I'm assuming by the end of the day, we'll know if it's going to be streaming or not. And if it is, I'll put it in our community page. So hopefully, fingers crossed for us who don't have tickets, And if it's not streamed, then maybe after it's done, they will put it online. Project Healthy Mind might put it on mine, or the Sussexes might put it on Archewell. I don't know. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see. So that's, something to look forward to tomorrow. And it's so funny because a little bit about Carson. If I was kind of dating myself, again, I always talk about this. The first time I got introduced to Carson was through Total TRL, Total Request Live. I think it was either on MTV or VH1, one of those shows. I think it's MTV. And so it was like music videos, and that was when music videos was all the rage, And TRL, they used to film it right there in Times Square. And so kids would be like, people would be hanging out because they would film it, and the studio was totally glass, so you could be on the street watching them film it. So it was kind of like a big deal. I guess I remember it was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, maybe 15, I don't know, something like that. And like I said, I'm dating myself, but it was a big deal, and so that's how I remember Carson Daly. So just seeing now, now he was grown back then, but to see to see him go, knowing that, or at least learning about him going through mental health struggles, and then now being able to talk about it and be able to help others. So it's really interesting. It's like you see people, you don't really know what they're going through. So this is a little bit about Carson, who will be hosting the he spoke to NBC. He actually works for the Today Show, and so he had posted this last year on his site. And so NBC did an article talking about the event tomorrow, and then so they sort of referred back a little bit to Carson, what he had posted a year ago, as you can see, 51 weeks ago. So it says, on this World Mental Health Day, that was in 2022, it says, I'm so grateful for those who make every day a priority to help so many who suffer in silence. I was one of them. We need to treat our mental health like we do our physical health and break the stigma. Everybody's dealing with something, and it's okay to not be okay. You're not alone. You are worthy more than you could ever know. Take a minute today and simply reach out to someone who your gut tells you could use it. Shout to my family, Project Healthy Minds, who are on the front lines. And go to their website, and that's their website. And also you can text them, text home to 741-741. I'm assuming they still have the number. And today's show picked up a little bit. This is a little bit of the article that they were writing, referring back to this. It says, though he opened up about his experience with panic attacks while on MTV, Carson has also talked about moments of extreme anxiety he experienced while hosting NBC's The Voice. The thing, you think your right hand in you think my right hand's in my pocket just being casual. I'm on TV and my life is so great, he said. The truth is, in that moment, I was gripping the flash of my upper right thigh because a wave of panic was coming through me. I was so scared. I wanted to run off stage because it was one of the symptoms of panic. I can't control my nervous system. Fight or flight kicks in. The threat is real, but there's nothing there. I have to just ride the wave on live TV. I can't imagine going through a panic attack on live TV. I got through it and I'm okay. It's part of how I manage my life, he said. You think you know, but you don't know what someone is going through. And I mean, you see Carson and he's just this chill guy. And that's why I always like Carson Daly, because he's always this chill guy. I didn't even know he hosted The Voice, because I'd never really watched The Voice. But there's like, he's looked so calm and relaxed, and not realizing in the middle of all of that, he's going through a panic attack. And it's just like, it's crazy. And so, yeah, I'm so glad that he's able to talk about it, and it helps break the stigma of it, where people feel like they have to be a certain way, or you're on TV and you have to, and it's like, no, you can go through a panic attack right there, and be dealing with your trauma right there. It's okay, to not be okay all the time. So it's just, thank you, Carson. And thank you, Harry and Meghan, who have been so open with their struggles. I mean, hello, the me you can't see Spare, Harry and Meghan docuseries. I mean, they've been so open and honest in so many ways about their struggles with mental health. And so it is great to see them come and not allow crazy people and really abusive people to stop them from speaking out and helping others. So it is just, it's really, really wonderful. To see. So again, I don't know if we are, I don't know if they're going to stream it. I hope so, but I don't know. So if I know today, I will definitely post the link in our community page. So definitely keep an eye on it if I know. And if you guys know, please. And if you're on social media, I'm on Twitter and I'm also on Spoutable. So just share with me too. If you know and I don't. So let's, definitely share. So yeah. Let's see. I was gonna jump in the chat for a second to see what you guys are saying. I saw somebody said something a minute ago and it just sort of ran away from me. Tiger Cup is like, I hope it'll stream, but if not, I hope we get to see some pictures. See, now Tiger Queen, she's got her priorities. It's like, I just want to see pictures. Pictures. Thank you, Black Queen. Yes, MTV. I used to watch both of them so religiously that I couldn't remember. It's like, is it MTV or 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 VH1? So I used to be addicted to it. And again, they used to film, TRL right there in Times Square. So I used to like stand down there and watch them filming it up there. So that was a thing back in the day. TRL and music videos. It's so funny how these waves of things come and then they go out. So yeah. Let's see. The Impossible says, but I think there's a gala later tomorrow evening. Am I wrong? Right or wrong? Take care. No, there is a gala after. I don't know if Harry and Meghan are going to be part of it or not, but it does say on the Project Healthy Minds site that there is a gala after. So again, whether they are part of it, I don't know. We only know that they're going to be doing the seminar. So yeah. It'll be cool if they're a part of it, and I'm assuming it's probably very private and, I'm maybe going to be in the same area. I don't know anything else other than what's on the site about it. Let's see. Oh, well, that's wonderful, Louise. She's like, doing great on this beautiful day, Paddle. Good. I'm glad that it's beautiful for you too. Yeah, I mean, if you're in New York or if you're, experiencing New York weather, maybe I shouldn't say anything because it might blight it. But it's just like, again, I was outside and it was just like, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. So needless to say, the moment I'm done with this, I'm back outside. Probably run off and go play some tennis or something. Let's see. Let's see. Someone said something and I was trying to, it ran away and I couldn't. Let's see. Sharon says, do any of the squad know already going to broadcast the summit? Okay. Will be on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Which streaming platform? Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't know. That we're just saying the same thing. We don't know. So if I know, I'll post it on our community page. If anybody knows and I don't, please share it so that we can all get that information, because I know all of us want to tune in some way. And while at least, I'm going to be there, like out, outside, wherever they are. So I'm going to try to tune in while I'm there, while it's going on, if it's, if they're streaming it in any way. So yeah. Terry says, it's good Harry and Meghan are ignoring the noise and just getting on with their lives. Absolutely. It's what you got to do. You can't, you cannot just keep, because like at the end of the day, it's just like, that's just people's opinions and you can't live your life by people's opinions. You got to just do what you want to do, no matter what people say. Just go out and live your life, so. And a lot of times is, the people who are saying nasty things, I mean, if you're a happy person, You don't sit around talking bad things about people. If you're happy in your life and content with your life, you're not gonna be out there saying bad things about people. You're gonna be focused on your happy life. So there, you know, no need to give attention to people who are like that. So there you go. Anyways, let's see. Oh, that's okay, Olivia. I'm happy you just jumped in for a second to let us know. Hope you have a great day at work. Um, oh, it's so very sweet of her. Well, anyway, let's see what else I got. Oh my gosh. This is the reason I love Misan Harriman's work. You know, Misan, he was at the Invictus Games for the second part of it. The same thing he did at The Hague the last time, where Chris Jackson mostly, not just Chris and others. There's like a whole bunch of different photographers. And press photographers that Invictus Games use their photos. And so, and then, so most of those photos, the Getty photographers and stuff, they were all there for the first part. And then Misan comes in the second part, the same thing he did at The Hague. And his photos, and we talked about it before, there's something about Misan's photos that he's able to capture real moments with real emotion. Like you feel the picture is about. There's something about it, and so many people say the same thing to him. And also too, there's something about black and white that strips away all of the distractions from a photo, and usually his photos are black and white. And so black and white, there's something special about it that you don't have colors and all of that stuff to distract you. It just like literally goes to the point, and it's black and white. It's right there, stark in your face. And see, I feel like you get the emotions and stuff so much more with his photos. And so this was one of the photos he posted, and last week I think it was, or something like that. So he posted this, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Misan, this is so awesome. And so we didn't know who this lady was, and Meghan is there holding hands, but you could see in her eyes, there was something that we just didn't know what it was. And so the funny thing is, so he posted it there, and then finally the lady, Max6XZ, she's on Instagram, saw it yesterday and tweeted about it and posted about the picture, just like, yep, that's me. And it was just so cool. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so great. So let me just move this away so I can just read that properly. And so I just saw it's great. And so Misan tweeted it. She's like, I'm so glad the lady in this image with Meghan, has found it. She gave a lovely account of what happened. And you can tell from her eyes. I mean, there was so much emotion in her eyes. It's like, and them just holding hands, there's something. So she said, Max6X mentioned you in the post. It says the Duchess of Sussex, and yep, that's me. How did I end up in this situation? Well, here comes the story. By sheer luck, and thanks to JC who spotted her, I found myself on her path. And the thing is, she stopped and took time to speak with me. What you see here, what Miss Anne Harriman perfectly captured, is the embodiment of mutual gratitude, empathy, and respect. Merci, she's French. That's what she said to me, and she knew when she knew we were French. Merci, merci à vous. I guess French squatties help me out. What I replied. And there's also one thing I truly love in this photo in the background, the two guys in the background there. What I truly love in this photo in the background, JP and JC, my dear friends and brother, were there grinning, enjoying this moment. And I love it that they were there with me, looking after me in some way, as they did during the Invictus, and keep doing. Big love to you too, my JJ. And so that's the two guys in the back there. And it's just, I'm like, yep. This is how, that's why people always tell me, son, it's like the way you're able to capture moments is so real. And it's just exactly what you said. It's like, what you see there is the perfect, capture perfect mutual gratitude, empathy, and respect. And it's just like, how amazing. And again, it's just those little things, those little moments that is so important. And I mean, that's why photography and is so, I mean, there are people that can take pretty pictures, and then there are people like Misan who is able to just capture these moments that is just like, wow. And so I'm really glad that she was able, that she saw it and she was like, yep, that is exactly what, and she saw it in the photos. She saw that's exactly, and I was like, yeah. But again, it's just the empathy. People who know and have met Harry and Meghan say the same thing about them, the exact same thing. And when you see crazy stuff online, it's like 99.9999999% of those people have never met her. Yet every single person who met them, whether her or Harry or both, literally say the same thing about them. Sylvia says, Meghan is a real deal. Meghan is not new to this, but her compassion and empathy is true to this. Perfectly said. Absolutely perfectly said. So yeah. I just, yeah. Rafaela says Invictus was amazing because Principal Sussex have the ability of understand the pain and emotions of others. Exactly. Absolutely. And I think that's why, that's why they connect so well with people, is that because they are compassionate, they have empathy, they can have empathy for others. It is just, it's wonderful to see. Little Mag says, she is saying thanks to you in a way to say, I should be thanking you, but what done? I'm assuming she means Invictus. I'm not really sure I understand what you mean. Explain. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Oh. You're the French. You're translating French. Okay, now I get it. Thank you, Little Mac. Oops. Coco says Messi à vous. No. Thanks to you. Thank you, Little Mac and Coco Ambrose. But it's like is it pronounced Messi à vous? I don't know. Maybe maybe you can give me a little phonetics. Thank you, friend squaddies. I appreciate. um yes. Okay, so, and that's cool. I mean, I love this. And speaking of Misan has a film coming out, which is going to be it's going to be streaming on Netflix worldwide, really, on October 25th. It's going to be at the London a film festival in the UK. I think it's London Film Festival or something like that. And so it's going to be there. And then after it shows there, it's going to be on Netflix everywhere. And so Misan, his film, I think it's like one of the first film festivals it was in, actually in Hollywood. It won. And that's it. They just mailed his trophy to him, and that's his trophy right there with his name on it. I was like, you go, Misan. So he got it, and obviously that is his film with David Oyelowo. I can never say his name correctly. So again, that's coming out on October 25th. And so and his film is also, shortlisted for the Oscars as well. So fingers crossed that it will get nominated. And yeah, we could probably see Misan, being a Academy Award nominee. That would be amazing. And again, this guy, if you just for inspiration, Misan only picked up a camera 4 years ago. And look at the work that he's doing. I mean, it is amazing his photography is amazing. He photographs for British Vogue. He does a lot of stuff for the Oscars, like, photography. He does a lot of stuff for sports. The guy is amazing. And so, and now he just has his first short. So there you go. Kudos to Misan. And that short is going to be on Netflix. So there you go. So he is doing great. Wonderful friend of the Sussexes. So And this happened. Tyra posted this. Obviously, we know Tyra, or Yulia Pevska. She is from Ukraine. Just in case you didn't know, um, she has been with the Invictus Games. Actually, she was supposed to be there last year at The Hague, but she is a medic in Ukraine and then was kidnapped when right before the games, while they were training for the games, and that's when they were also filming Heart of Invictus. And so obviously she had cameras there filming their practice and all of that stuff. And then she got kidnapped. And so right before she got kidnapped, she got to film, some of the work that they were doing. And obviously the Russian invasion into Ukraine and all of that stuff, some of which is in Heart of Invictus. And then she got kidnapped by Russians and then couldn't go to the games. Obviously her daughter, Anna Sophia, went to the games and in place of her, and won, I think, a bronze medal in archery, where her mom was supposed to be participating, and also to raise awareness about her mother's plight and the fact that the Russians kidnapped her. And so because of that and the worldwide attention that got, I think a couple months later, she was released. And so wonderful that we see her in the Heart of Invictus. If you haven't seen Heart of Invictus, please see it. It's on Netflix. And obviously she was at the games this year, which was wonderful to see her. But one of the things that was happening with her is that we saw her with crutches, and then you see the big photo in the bottom. She was in a wheelchair. And so obviously you could tell, so whether it happened while she was captive or whatever happened, this was her situation. And so yesterday she posted that she says, finally back in Ukraine. The Invictus Games wrapped a month ago, but I had to stay in Germany for spinal surgery. Everything went well, and I won't be needing crutches anymore, although there are still 3 months of quite strict movement and lifestyle restrictions ahead. So obviously that's why she was in crutches, and also having to use a wheelchair sometimes. But during the game, I mean, she was wonderful. She won. I think she won a silver medal in swimming, and then she won a bronze in archery. And she may have won another one, but I know definitely those two. And so she did great along with Team Ukraine. I think they won more medals this time than they won the time before. So definitely keep her in your prayers as she as she recovers. And so, yeah, but it's good to see, great that she was able to do the surgery and it was successful. So then, she won't need to be in a wheelchair or using crutches anymore. So that's awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Wait, Kadisha says, Petal, I saw this picture earlier, but I didn't know anything about him. Thanks for sharing. Who are we talking about? Misan? I'm assuming you mean Nissan. Let me know if that's what you mean. Coco says, Yulia Pevska Tyra also received a medal at the President Biden's at the White House. She did, actually. We actually talked about it a few episodes back, where there's a beautiful picture of her and someone else, I think a couple of other people, receiving their honor at the White House with and also with First Lady Jill Biden. So yeah, kudos to her. Yes, thank you, Coco, for bringing that up. So good for her. And who knows all the stuff that she was able to gather and to help with, that she learned, stuff that I'm sure she won't be able to say publicly. But yeah, it just, so happy that she's out. But even with her being out, there are still others still captive. So you can keep them in your prayers as well, that they are set free. So there you go. Let's see what else is happening in our friends at Invictus needs our help. They have a film that they put together. It's actually been kind of shortlisted for this film, like a sports film festival in the UK. So this is what they put out. It says Invictus Games Foundation has been shortlisted in the inaugural Esports Insider Film Festival. watch our short film, Exploring Esports Recovery. That's the name of the short film, Exploring Esports Recovery, with the link below, and vote for us. Vote for us for the Community Choice Award. And so they need us, if you're on Twitter or whatever, definitely jump on. And this is just directions of how you vote. So there are a couple of things you got to do. So everything that circle you got to do in order to get your vote counted. And just like, when we were voting for Meghan, you can vote. Apparently, I didn't realize I only voted once, and somebody's like, no, you can vote as many times as you want to. I was like, oh, okay. So knock yourselves out and help our friends at Invictus Games Film to win. So you got to, when you click on the link, when you first get there, the first circle is like exploring esports recovery. That's the name of the film by Samuel Newell. Then you click OK. That's the second circle. And then when you click OK and you watch the film, so you have to watch the film, which is the second panel there. You watch the film, then you rate it, and then you click OK, and then it should take you to the third panel where these are all, you feel free to watch all the films there. There's like a few, how many films here? Probably 8 or 9 of them. Short. They're all short. And so feel free to watch them. But, definitely go in and, if you think it is worth 5 stars, go ahead and give it 5 stars. Just be honest, what you think, but definitely go in and rate it. And then when you rate it, click OK. And then it'll take you to the third panel where you see all the films there. Then you click, Exploring Esports. That's the film. That's the Invictus film. And then you click submit. Don't forget to click submit. And then you will be done. And then feel free to share it on your social media platform and encourage others to do it as well. So go, if you want to screenshot this, so it'll, just to have it to walk through. So I know it's like sometimes you feel like, well, I did one part, but if you have to do all the parts, so that way your vote will be counted. So that would be awesome. So definitely, if you are able, help out our friends at Invictus, get their film, nominated or to win or whatever else, whatever they need. So it's great. I watched it and it's really cool. And it also featured like, I think a couple of the guys from Team Nigeria was also a part of it too. Just talking about the power of sports and how it's sports recovery. So it's really, it's really Invictus, that Invictus spirit. So it's really cool. So definitely, if you're able, support our friends at Invictus. And talk about Invictus, and this is the wonderful thing that I love with Invictus. It's not just the games, and we talk about this all the time, that it's not just the games. There's so many parts of Invictus that, throughout the year, there is either, race that, they go running, they hike, they do bike rides, they do, cross country. They do so many things, skiing, whatever it is, all through the year. So the games is just part of a big culmination of all the wonderful things they do. And this in Romania, and this is the thing too with that is so and that's why I get so irritated with the UK, is to see how the royal families in these other countries like Romania and stuff, how they value their veterans and they come and support. And so this is in Romania, where Prince, Charles has a home. Maybe he can learn from Margarita, but I'm just saying. But anyway, it's like Margarita from Romania passes the baton for a veterans race across the country. It says the crown keeper of, the crown keeper passes the baton to the participant of the Invictus race. This relay race for veterans on its 10th edition. The sporting event highlights Romanians' defense, veterans, and Romania's current position on the world military scene. And that's her down there. And he is also, they call him the godfather of the Romanian Invictus Association. So this organization, they're the ones that prepare the team, Romanian team, and get them ready and send them off to the games. So they call him the grandfather of the Invictus Games. Anyway, on Thursday, October 5th, last Thursday, veterans of the Romanian army arrived at a run from the front of Elizabetha Palace in Bucharest. Margarita and Radu from Romania stood outside their workplace to welcome the participants ready to race, to start a race across the country. The keeper of the crown, I love they call it that, the keeper of the crown symbolically passed the first baton to a runner. And these are just clips of the article. Prince Radu gave a speech before starting the race. And this is some of what he says. Some of you have paid a great price in your life for patriotism and defense of the nation. Do not forget that for hundreds of years, heroes like you sacrificed everything for the country, declared the Prince Consort. Her Majesty's husband also underlined the importance of his race. For 3 weeks, the runners will attract attention and curiosity of the local communities they pass, thus conveying the values and causes defended by the Romanian army today. In this sense, Prince Radu added, we are a part of a nation that paid with its blood to be today a member of NATO and the EU. Two alliances that unite the worthy family of free nations on the earth. And so I appreciate the fact that they respect and they value the sacrifice of their veterans. Something can be learned in the UK that they don't have. They don't respect their veterans. But it's good to see that them coming and really valuing and speaking about, people have paid with their lives to defend their countries and to give them the freedom that they have today, whatever the freedom is. So anyway, the race started on the October 5th and it's going to go to 3,300 kilometers, and it's going to be ending on October 25th. So it's like a 3-week sort of relay race. It's going to be going across Romania, and sanctioned, I guess, by the Invictus Games. And again, this is wonderful to see. It is absolutely wonderful to see, because were I a veteran, how built up and inspired would I be? It's like the leaders and the royal family of your country out there supporting you and really honoring you. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, would the ones in the UK learn from this? Would they look across to Romania, where King Charles is a house, and learn from this, how they treat their veterans? It's yeah. Anyways, moving on before I don't get really, really irritated at the UK, how they treat their veterans. Fire says the Romanian prince was also at the Invictus Games. He was also a dignitary. He was very kind. Oh my goodness! Wow, thank you for sharing that. See, of course we saw the king last year at the Hague was also at the games, including the president, or is it prime minister of the Netherlands? What did they have, a president or prime minister? I don't remember. Was also at the, I think it was president, was also at the games. And it's just like, would the ones in the UK learn? They never will. But thank you, Fire. And I mean, it comes across in their statements. I mean, the respect and honor that they give to their veterans, because they know they have their freedom because of these men and women who have sacrificed so much. So yeah. Coco is also saying the same. Prince Radu was at the Invictus Games. That's awesome. So I have to find a photo of Prince Radu. So let's see. Oh man, that is it's beautiful to see. So congratulations again. Congratulations. I'll definitely keep an eye open on for the 25th when that race ends. But again, it's, speaks to the Invictus that they do so many things that are, that really help veterans all throughout the year. And it's absolutely wonderful to see. Talk about the UK. I forgot that I had this right after. It's like, oh God. need to like, give myself prompts so I remember what comes right after. So I'm like, when I click on it, it's just like, oh, okay. Well, since we were already talking about them, it's just like, anyways, with all the stuff going on, I mean, we all know what's going on in the Middle East right now. And it's so funny. Squatties have been posting this because they're like, well, we to have a Prince William who was, his life's mission is, Middle East peace. And it's like, where is Prince William? I have not, with all the stuff happening in the Middle East right now with Israel and the Palestinians, is like, this man whose life mission was about Middle East peace, where is he? I haven't heard. I mean, have you guys heard from Prince William? I have not heard anything. I mean, maybe he forgot. Because, since that time happened, I mean, his life mission then is also ending homelessness. And then it's also, fixing the planet. And when he's not bored of racism, he's claiming racism must stop now. I mean, yes, that would be nice, So maybe in all of those other, his whole, life mission and all these other things, maybe he forgot that his life mission was, Middle East peace. It's just like, and again, yes, I mean, we could look at this and be like, oh, Prince William, why, because again, with a lot of this stuff, he just says stuff because, or either he says it or the people who, his handlers feed this nonsense to the press and they put this, oh, Williams, his life mission is Middle East peace. Or his life's mission is to end homelessness. Or the Earth Shot is going to be the next Nobel Peace Prize, the Green Nobel. And it's just like they put out all of these things and it just sort of sits there and he does nothing about them. And so you get to this part where there's literally problem in the Middle East and you think, well, remember the time when you said that your life's mission was Middle East peace? Do you want to chime in now? This might be a good time to chime in. This might be a good time to, sort of speak to Hamas and also speak to the Israeli government and try to bring them to the table. Maybe sort of, this might be a good time, but, again, with William, it's just, put it out there so that makes it look like I'm doing something or there's a cause or something. And really that's people want, the people in his life wanting him to have it's just, I don't know. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, dude, just maybe not say anything. Just do what Harry does. Harry does stuff and then he talks about it. How about you just do that? And stop putting out this stuff. And then it just sort of sits there and you don't do anything. And it's out there. So people are going to call you on it. Like this. This may be where your voice is necessary. Unbelievable. Anyways, and then there is this. It's so wild with the royal family and how they deal with the British brass. Because, we all know how they attack, especially Meghan, when there's a staff change. When all, anything there's a staff change, they all want to rush at Meghan. Oh, she can't keep staff. She's a bully. She's all of those things. Meanwhile, Kensington Palace is right there. They are bleeding staff left and right. It's been a year. Kate Middleton still does not have a private secretary since the last one, looked at that job and bailed. Like, she didn't even start. She's like, no, I'm going back to my person. She sees the mess that stuff is. She's like, I don't think so. I'm going to go back to my old job. She has not had a private secretary. And so, which makes you like, and who's doing what in your household? And so Prince William, we know from what was a couple weeks ago, whatever, he all of a sudden puts out that he's hiring a CEO, and that CEO is not going to be reporting to their private secretary as normal. Everybody reports to the private secretary. That's how they usually do it in the royal family for ages. The private secretary is the person that holds the most power. They are, they are sort of the gatekeepers between everybody else and their principal, whether it's William or Charles or Queen or whomever, is the private secretary. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, William decided, oh no, I am hiring a new CEO, and that CEO will not be reporting to the private secretary. That CEO would be reporting to me. And so, well, if you're the private secretary in that situation, you're like, so then if they're reporting to you, you mean I have to report to the CEO? I am not the big cheese in the palace anymore. Dude, deuces, I am out. Because if you're in a job and you're like, wait a minute, you're the big cheese, and all of a sudden they're bringing in somebody else, most likely you're going to have to train that CEO about their job. And then you're training somebody who is going to be basically taking, you're going to be reporting to when you were the big cheese. Would you stay at that job? I wouldn't. I don't know why anybody would think this guy would stay at the job. So what happens? William's private secretary quits, or at least is quitting, Roy Anika. And notice the paper, or at least that is in. If this was a story about somebody quitting at the Sussexes, this would be online. This would be all over online. So you could share it a million times to tell you how horrible bosses the Sussexes are. If you look for this picture, this story about William's private secretary, you will not find it online because they didn't put it online. It's only in print. And it's only because Roy Anika posted it online, a copy of the print, that we know about it. Because, she wrote it, and I guess she wants to get some publicity for her story. It's not. And what does William and Kensington Palace do? They drop it at a time when everybody's focus is on what? The Middle East. That that Middle East where he should be focused on. Yeah. So they know the majority of people are not going to be paying attention to his private secretary quitting. So what better time to drop the story? It's not like we're hiding. We are telling it to you, but we are basically, telling it to you at a time when everybody's attention is on the Middle East. And so Roy Anika posted, says Prince William of Wales and his private secretary, Jean-Christophe Gray, are to part company as William and Kate restructure their household with a new CEO. They've also appointed a new COO, Chief Operating Officer Sean Carney, who joined Kensington Palace this month from Telemos Capital. I don't know what Telemos is, but whatever. So a little bit about the private secretary quitting. The Prince William and his private secretary are to part company as Prince William restructures his household with a new chief executive. Jean-Christophe Gray, a leading civil servant who previously worked as David Cameron's spokesperson, joined Kensington Palace in February 2021 to lead the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's team. Known as JC, he is widely respected in royal circles and as William's closest aide, has been integral in his transition from Prince of Wales, advising on key legacy projects, including Earthshot Environmental Prize and his Homeward initiative to end homelessness. Gray, 47, is on secondment from Whitehall and will leave the palace in the spring. So, a few more months. Royal sources said it has always been his intention to return to government, sure. But last month, it emerged that William and Kate, both 41, were recruiting chief executive to lead their household who will report directly to them, rather than to their private secretaries. Previously, William's private secretary was the most senior member of the team. An online advert placed by recruitment firm Udgars Bernstein said the new boss should be emotionally intelligent with a low ego. A source said, having a CEO placed above you isn't an optimal job. I would think not. It's not an optimal job scenario if you are JC and your title is no longer head of the household. Kensington Palace said, we do not comment on staffing matters, but you did because you leaked it. It's just so phony. Again, if you're the big cheese and then they're hiring somebody who, literally goes right by you and doesn't regard your position as the big cheese, and most likely you're going to be reporting to him, yeah, that means your job is basically it's time to go. And obviously he's going, because I'm sure he's going to be training the new CEO, because I don't think William and Kate will sit there and train someone, because we know their work ethics. It is not there. So again, and hiring a CEO to do a job that William and Kate should be doing tells you very much how Kensington Palace is going. It's like, let us give everything to other people. Let other people, plus you have to have low IQ. You be emotional intelligent. You have to be all the things we should be and are not. And we're just going to take the credit for all of your work. I shudder to think of the poor person or the really crazy person who will take on that job for William and Kate, because that is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to dump all of it on him. When something goes wrong, it's their fault. But when they do something right, William and Kate will take all the credit, is what they do. And this is what this is. You think about a thankless job, that would be that job. I shudder to think the person who would take that job, because it's just going to be like, ooh, ooh. So I think JC Smith read the tea leaves and he's like, ooh, I'm out of here. Bye. I'm like, it's crazy. Emotionally intelligent. I mean, there's other things that the requirements there, which is, again, all the things that William and Kate should be, and they're not. So they're basically having someone do the work for them that they should be doing. They should be the ones running that business. They should be the ones, running that, but they're hiring people to do the work. So we know what happens with Kate and William, especially, is like, more vacation time for them. It is just, yes. Jerry says, is he restructuring it or copying Harry and Meghan's business? Yeah, it's exactly what he's doing. He's copying what Harry and Meghan are doing. It's, that's exactly what they're doing. It is absolutely what they're doing. Church Nelly says, absolutely, Harry cosplaying the Sussex. This is what they're doing. And again, Harry and Meghan are literally running Archewell. So they, when Meghan was pregnant and, they had leave, they had Mandana Diani came in, and she was the president of Archewell, and she took over and ran it. The moment Harry and Meghan were up and, they got into the flow of being parents of 2 kids and all that stuff, they came off. Mandana Diani then left, as was, that's how they structured her deal. And then they now run Archewell. This is what should be happening. I mean, Harry and Meghan can hire someone to run it, and they do their other stuff. But they run Archewell. And so William and Kate, that's literally what y'all should be doing. But oh no, so anyways, we shall see what their new CEO, and again, they hired a new COO, Sean Carney, whoever that is. And so we shall see. But again, it's so funny. I think we're going to do it the next time, because I just realized I even forgot about it, because their foundation financials came out, which they were very late on, came out, and there was like, we'll talk about it next time when I bring in the numbers, because they're like, you got how much money, and you donated how much, and you spent how much for Earthshot, and gave how much to the people who you're this Earthshot is supposed to be about. And what's interesting, there was nobody talking about it. They were going after the Sussexes when they put out their financials, which is completely on the up and up, and nobody's saying anything about the Cambridges, who are like, we'll talk about it when we bring it in. It's just crazy. Anyway, it is unbelievable. Or the Impossible says, can you imagine they want somebody, but the individual have to have a low ego? Yeah, somebody they can walk on, basically. I'm like, think of William and think of his relationship with Harry and what he's been doing to Meghan. It's just like, dude, this is what you should be. This is what you should attend to. Or maybe he's bringing in someone so he can have a live person there so he can imitate that person's little ego. Don't think so, but that should be the direction he is going. But anyways, moving on. What else we got? Oh, it's so funny. I didn't even realize I wanted. Maybe okay. It was just really quickly. It's so funny. Did you guys know? And this is one of those old things that you can hardly even read it. But thank you, Chris. By Twit on Twitter, she's Squatty, who found this. This was like from 1993 or 97, something like that. Did you know that Edward, when he was dating Sophie, had to put out a letter to the press begging them to leave him and Sophie alone? And this was like in 1993, whatever it was. And it was just like, are you serious? And apparently they were hounding her, like, yes, they also obviously hounded Kate and hounded Meghan, obviously. And then you add in the racist element, and that just threw everything. I mean, that just blew everything out of the water. But Edward literally had to put out and literally beg the press to leave his girlfriend alone. And it was just like, are you? It was just the most, I had no idea. I didn't even know this was a thing. And so this is, Ardent was a company that, Edward started. That was his production company, and obviously we know that went bust after a while. And so which was a real shame, because he really wanted to branch out, and he kind of wanted to do what Harry and Meghan are doing now. But then it all failed because there was this whole thing with him and Arden photographing William when he was at school. And listening to some reporters talk about it now, apparently Edward, there was some kind of a mix up there, because it wasn't what was reported wasn't quite the truth, and that Edward wasn't as guilty or whatever as they were saying. And what ended up happening, what destroyed Edward's company, was King Charles allowed his press secretary, Mark Beaumont or whatever his name was, he allowed him to destroy his own brother in the press. And it was really sickening what Charles allowed this man to do to his own brother. And he destroyed him in the press and basically destroyed his production company. And it's something they could, if they only, they could have worked it out. They could have talked it out as brothers. But instead of doing that, Charles does what he always does: hide and let other people do his dirty work. And basically what he did to Edward's company. And so it was really, really sickening what was done there. Not that it was right to, obviously go photographing with William at school or any of those things, but it didn't quite go down the way the press was reporting it, apparently. And Charles, instead of, standing up for his brother and working it out as a family, allowed his press secretary, and you guys remind me, Mark Boland. He basically allowed Mark Boland to destroy his own brother and destroy his brother's company. It just, I just can't. that man is just. Anyways, so this is a little bit about the letter that Edward basically, the Los Angeles Times wrote this whole article about this. It's like, this is some of what the letter says. It's like, now Edward wants to be left alone too. Royal family. The prince employs the British media to give him a break. Fat chance. What with a new girlfriend and Diana saying. And Diana trying to stay out of the picture. London, following in the footsteps of his sister-in-law, Diana, who declared recently that she wants to be alone, Prince Edward and his girlfriend have made a plea to Britain's media. Give us a break. Edward, 29, confirmed in an open letter to the British media, to the British editors, that he and Di lookalike, apparently, I could see a vague resemblance, I guess, especially the hair and how she's wearing her hair like Diana. And Edward, British editors, that he and the Di lookalike Sophie Rees-Jones, 28, have been dating for a few months and desperately wants privacy. And so part of his letter says, I am taking the unusual step of writing you directly in hope of you stopping your reporters and photographers from destroying that part of my life that I'm entitled to in regards to entitled to regard as private, and more importantly, Sophie's life, wrote Edward, the Queen Elizabeth II remaining bachelor son. And I think the actual letter is a little bit hard. It's really hard to read because it's so, I was trying to make it clearer, but it's impossible to read it. But some of the letter is, he's talking about that we've only just started dating, we're not married, we only just, and because you're doing this, it's gonna ruin everything. And so he is imploring them, and he basically said, especially this is around Christmas time, just basically give us a break. And so it just, it really cements for me just how, and I always wonder, it's like, why have they allowed the press to do this to people? This has been going on for so long, and I don't understand why they've allowed this to go on, where the press could just literally be hounding people to death and destroy people. And it's just like, oh, but you have to take it. But if you stand up against the press, then you are doing something great. Like, and not only do they hound, but they abuse, and they make, and it's just, I don't understand why. Again, this was what, 1993, and it's like, why has this been allowed to go on? And around that time there was all this, they were also going after them because, according to the article, if you want the article, let me know, I'll email it to you. And there's also the the New York Times wrote about it too. Around this time also, there was this curiosity, because apparently there was this, the whole narrative that Edward was gay. This was also in the article. And so there was all of this stuff coming at him where, he had to deny it and all of that stuff. And they mentioned this in the article. But it's just like, this kind of behavior has been going on, and this boorish, monstrous behavior from the press has been going on for so long, and I don't understand why people have not stood up and done something about this, and so literally the letter is like basically begging the press, please understand, please. It literally, he even said in his little letter, if we're going to get married, I'll tell you, I really will. And it's just like, are you serious? And so to have someone have to basically beg, this is craziness. And then, of course, it hadn't stopped, because after that, then they went to Kate, and then they went to Meghan, and it just keeps going on and on and on, and more abusive. And it's like, no, if you stand up, and by the end of it, they even I think, was it Harry that mentioned that King Charles was saying, like, look, they were horrible to my dad, to Prince Philip, and look, by the time he was dead, they all worshipped him, basically. And it's like, so you're supposed to live your entire life being abused by these monsters, and then when you're dead, they praise you. Look at what, hello, Diana's life. And that's okay for you? Like, why aren't you all standing up? And they're all basically fall at the feet of these, the press, as we saw in what was in August, when Rupert Murdoch especially had his party, when all of them were there, all the politicians were there, all, King Charles and his two top aides were there, the heads of MI5, and I think, is there an MI6 too? I think, but definitely the head of MI5 was there. Rishi Sunak, who's the prime minister, the Labour leader, Keir Starmer, they were all there at Rupert Murdoch's party. And it's just like, no wonder they will never change. Because none of these people who have the power to change the press do anything about it. They all fall at their feet. And it's like this most sickening thing. And you're like, but... And so it kind of puts Prince Harry's fight against the press into perspective, because if way back then they had done something about the press, we wouldn't have the problems we're having today. And whatever you think about Edward or Sophie, whatever, at the time when he's writing this, they were 20. She wasn't a part of the royal family. She was a 20-something-year-old. She was 28 years old. They were both 20-something. He was 29. She was 28. So they were young people basically just starting to date, starting to live their life. And you think of it, even Harry and Meghan, Meghan and Harry were both older when they got together. But if this is something that was addressed back then, when this, especially when they were doing it to Diana and Fergie and all, if this stuff was attacked back then, you would not have the same intensity. Yes, tabloids are going to be tabloids, but the bite and the power that they have today, they would not have it if the government and the royal family, if they literally fought back. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It doesn't matter what you think about, Sophie or even Camilla. It doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse. And they don't just, look, critique for what the behavior. Yes. Critique Camilla for what she did to Diana. Yes. But there are things with the British press where they don't literally just critique. They literally just abuse. And that's a whole different angle, which is what they do. And I've talked about it. It's the British culture. It's a barbaric culture. It is such a barbaric culture. And it's like, no, but you have to toughen it up and you have to do all this stuff. And it's just like, you know what? Why should I have to? Why are you abusing? That is a thing that should be addressed. And it hasn't been addressed. So here we are with Meghan. And it's where it is because this stuff is not addressed back then. And so it just, instead of, really doing something about the abuse of the press, it's kind of like, oh, let's just suck up to them because we want people to vote for us. And so the people listen to them. So let's just suck up to them and let them continue to abuse people. It's sick. It's really sick. And again, I don't care, whether you love or like Sophie and Edward or whether you don't, that's like beside the point. The point is people should not have to go through, be harassed and all of that stuff. And yeah. Again, why we're squatties is because, because stuff wasn't addressed then. We have stuff where we, with Meghan and Harry having to deal with the same mess. So it's just very interesting. I didn't realize until yesterday that they had gone through this kind of stuff as well. It's crazy. But anyways, moving on. Away from the royals. Away. Do fun stuff. Guys, I hope you guys have been paying attention to the Olympic Games. Oh my goodness. I have had such a great time just following. I haven't had really chance to watch it, but I've seen like the clips of the different performances, and it has been amazing. It has been it's been absolutely amazing. The games just ended in Germany, in Antwerp, and I'm like, was everything in Germany? Invictus Games was there, and then the World Championships of Gymnastics is there. I was like, man, they got everything in Germany. But this is so amazing. This is your American team, the men and the women's team, and so they ended the games with 11 medals, 4 golds, 3 silvers, and 4 bronze medals. And so this is a team that, as you can see on the left, if you didn't know, there's your information. On the left, the women's won the gold for the team competition, and that's all the ladies right there. And I love the diversity of this team. I am oh, the diversity. Yes. Simone, Sky, Kayla, Shilese, Jocelyn, and Leanne. They are, look at the diversity. I have never seen, other than from I think it was now a couple of years now, that has just been so diverse, and it's just wonderful to see, and then that's the men's team, which is also very diverse at the bottom. I guess our picture kind of cut their head off a little bit there, but at the top, they're the medal winners. They are the medal winners for both teams. They, for the individual medals, all 4. I'm talking about Black excellence. I am just like, look at this. A few years ago, I could not even imagine It is just so beautiful to see. I was like, oh my gosh, look at Black folks representing in Antwerp. Hello. Both the men and the women. And it is just wonderful. So this is our girl Simone. I'm like, she talk about gold. She is the greatest gymnast who was ever the greatest gymnast ever. She has, now she owns 37 medals. It is amazing what she has done. 37. I think now she's what, 6 straight gold medals for the world championship medals for the team. 6 straight gold. Hello, 37. She's the most decorated Olympian ever. And you think of all the great ones like the Nadia Comaneci and the Mary Lou Retton and all of those. Simone Biles is on top of all of them. There are now tricks in their performances that are now named after her. It is just, she is amazing. And it says on the left, it says Simone Biles owns the record for the most combined world and Olympic medals. As the NBC Paralympics says, she is in a league of her own. She is. And so for these games, along with the team competition goals, her individual goals, she won gold, as you can see, for the all around, for the balance beam, and the floor exercise. And then she won silver for the vault. And so it just, I was like rooting for the vault, but she fell over on the vault, so she got silver. It's like, oh, it's okay, all right, it's okay. Of course, I'm like, yeah, gold for everyone, but that's okay. And it's just like, oh, look at her. I just love this so much. I love this. And also, this is Shiley. So Shiley's won. She won the bronze on the all around, and also bronze on the uneven bars. So good. And I just love this so much. And look at this. Look at this podium. And it's just like, with Shiley's is the obviously Simone for the gold. Shiley's on the left, on the right is got the bronze, and Rebecca Andrade from Brazil. I'm telling you, this Brazilian, I was like, never in my wildest dream I think of Brazil and gymnastics. And Rebecca Andrade has like completely changed the game. She is Simone's biggest competition, and they love each other. And look at this Black girl magic. Look at that on the stage. Look at that representing their country. I am like so excited. I was like, you go. So this is like my favorite photo of Shiley's wiping tears from Simone's eye. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I'm sorry. I know I'm going off on gymnastics here, but I love this. I love the fact to see just the excellence, and it's not just the ladies. Look at the men as well. All the medals for the men, apart from the team. The men's team won the bronze for the team competition, which is great. But then you have Fred Richards, the first, I think he's the youngest guy, the first guy since 2010 to win an all-around medal for the U.S. And he's only 19 years old. And it's like, amazing, And then Coy Young won for the individual, the vault, and the pommel horse won silver. And those were the medals, all of them. Black excellence. I'm just like so proud of them, so it's really, really amazing just to see, I'm just like so proud. See our people representing in sports again. When I was growing up, very, very, very few were Black people or people of color that were in gymnastics. It was very, very much the minority. And so it's just wonderful to be able to see, absolutely wonderful to see them doing, them doing this. It's just like, yes. So very inspired by our gymnasts. And if you want any more inspiration, oh my goodness, y'all, if you're on social media, please jump over. If you're on either Twitter or you're on Instagram, please go visit Mark Omrad, either Twitter page or his Instagram page. One of the most amazing and inspirational guys ever. Mark, as you can see in the third photos, obviously is a vet, and he lost 3 limbs, to both of his legs and one of his arms. One of the most inspirational people that you will ever be around, and he's also a motivational speaker. Those are his 2 kids that he's walking with, and you can see, he's walking on stumps. And so it is just I mean, it is amazing to see the things that he does with his kids. Like, I was watching a video yesterday of him going hiking with his kids, and he have his stumps there, and it's amazing. And so that's him in 2018, and I didn't even realize it was the same person until Danny, thank you Danny from Sussex Squad, posted. It's like, that's them in 2018 with Harry and Meghan over there, and that's them at in Dusseldorf, him sitting with Harry and Meghan in Dusseldorf. And it's just like, and I went and just checked out his page. I was sitting there so inspired. And one of the things he said, that the reason why he lives every day, he just squeezes every bit of life every single day. One of it is, he died once, like, I guess when from his injury, he died and came back. And he said he wants to do everything and live and just squeeze everything out of life to say thank you to the medics, to all the people who saved his life, who, where he is today. He just is his everything he's doing and everything he's accomplishing, all of it is basically to say thank you for saving my life. He wants them to know that saving him meant something, that he's doing something with his life, that it wasn't in vain that they saved his life. And it's just like, I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I am so inspired by this guy. So again, if you're on Twitter, or as you can see on Twitter is at Mark Omrod, or you're at Instagram. He has an Instagram page. On Twitter, you can just you'll see the link there, and you can just get to his page. He has videos there of his workouts, his speeches, or or podcast stuff that he does as well. It just it is just so inspiring to see, and I'm like, you know what? If Mark can do it, I can do anything. And so it just so definitely go over there and check it out. So. But anyway, I think that's all I got. I'm going to stay in the chat for a bit and see what y'all are saying. I know that was a lot. Let's see what you guys are saying. Scrolling up. Wait, who's going on a trip? Oh, Nash is going on a trip. Hey, Nash, enjoy your trip wherever you're going. Wait, was that your birthday trip? I think maybe that was her birthday trip. Let's see. Wait, Karen Warner is here. Hey, Karen. Oh, yes, Karen. Hey, Karen. How are you? Karen says, I will continue to think that what I think about Sophie, Edward, Camilla, Kate, because they went through this, so they knew what was coming for Meghan, and they joined the tabloids. They didn't prevent it. Absolutely. Absolutely. What they did was absolutely reprehensible. It was absolutely reprehensible what they did in not protecting Meghan and helping Meghan through this, and also instigating and some of that stuff. It is absolutely reprehensible. Does not excuse the press, however, going after anybody, including them. Abuse in any form is wrong. And if they had taken care of that and really had regulations for the press, I mean, yes, you can speak, you can speak the truth when you're in the press. Obviously, that's your job. But they crossed the line with that into abuse, where they literally target and abuse people, which is what they're doing now and have been doing to Meghan for the Harmony said. No excuse for what they did to Meghan. No excuse. It's also no excuse for what was done to them as well by the press. They've been, and not just them. I mean, I started watching David Beckham's. He has like a series now on a docu-series on Netflix, and one of the reasons I started to watch it, and I started it last night, so I haven't gotten to that part yet, was one of the squaddies was saying that she started watching it because she was talking about she watched it, and she was talking about the abuse the press really threw at David Beckham, and I'm assuming both him and his wife. And again, it's not just, Harry and Meghan. They abuse people so badly. That's why a lot of their celebrities and stuff, when they get to make it big, they leave because of the abuse. And again, this is stuff that because it wasn't dealt with, the reporters in the British press, it's kind of like, they just sort of, there's this huge nepotism that goes on, that's happening in, or that's been in the British press, where, you know, daddy and mommy who were reporters passed down their job to their kids. And you see that a lot in the British press. And they pass down their nasty behavior and their nasty reporting, and it just keeps getting passed down. And there's no regulations, nothing to protect the public from what the press is doing. And, you have the IPSO off, both are toothless, both are put there by the press. And so they're not regulating anything, And so, yeah, if they dealt with this stuff, then people wouldn't be abused. This, again, yes, press freedom, but there is a line, and they've blatantly crossed the line. They blatantly crossed the line, and nobody's done anything about it. And so, yeah, but no, I'm really here with you on this, Karen. Really here with you in this. Kawhi pushing love. Oh, wow. Hello. So Simone was in Belgium, but we were watching it live, and the people here were so happy to see her here. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Oh my goodness. She's and the thing about it, Simone, I remember, again, we talked about it, I think the last podcast, when she took the time off, and so much abuse was thrown her way because of, she was having twisties, and, she took it off and took the time away to just prioritize her mental health. People like Piers Morgan, again, those monsters, those brutes in the British press, was targeting and attacking, in the worst way. Like, she is a robot, so perform for us. But, the moment she prioritized her mental health, is like all of their nastiness. How dare you, have feelings? How dare you, break down? It's just, oh my goodness. And again, this behavior that was not dealt with way back then, keeps rearing its ugly head, especially targeted to Black and brown people. Let's see. I am just scrolling. Marjorie says, but now all of them, including Talk TV, are saying that those Sussex Squad people are to be feared, and they're so fierce. I was like, yes, we refuse for you guys to make Meghan the same fate as Diana. Exactly. Because they're not used to people pushing back on them. They're not used to it. They're used to just lying and being abusive and nobody saying anything, and people just cowering to them because they are all powerful in the UK. And they are not used to people, just calling them for what they are, lying abusers. They're not used to that. And then you call, especially racist lying abusers, oh my goodness, they freak out. Oh my gosh, don't call me racist. They're not used to that, because people, especially Black people, calling them out it's like, what? No, they're used to squashing and gaslighting you. And all of a sudden, there are these people all over the world who don't care about, what you think, and they don't subscribe to your rules or your whatever you think, these elevated views of yourself. And they're not used to that. So, they have definitely come after us. We're like, we don't care. We're calling you out. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, so you just saw Nash. She says, hello, squaddies. Happy and blessed Monday to y'all. I just landed back in Atlanta from my birthday trip. Ooh, so Nash, are you gonna tell us where you went? I'm nosy like that. If you're gonna tell us you landed back, you better tell us where you went and how it was. And better yet, send us photos. That's just me being like really nosy. But I am happy you're back, and I hope you had a great time wherever you were. Not that we want to know or anything, right, Nash? Nash is like, you're crazy. Let's see. Jodiki says Sophie is very dodgy about Diana, accusing her of bullying and copying her outfits, hair. She did that? Oh my goodness. I had no idea. It's funny. I don't know much about Sophie at all. I never really paid attention to her other than her being Ford Fiesta and that thing with Oprah. Like, I don't really pay attention to Sophie. So I had no idea she did that. I mean, I knew when I think she was like, she said like some nasty things about Charles, but it was because I think they set her up or something, and then she had to apologize. But beyond that, I don't really. She's just not an interesting person. So or at least hasn't caught my interest to sit there and go looking at her. So I had no idea that she said that about Diana. Oh goodness, I did not know that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see. Anne Lewis says the Queen was celebrity of her day. Before TV in many people's homes, even Prince Philip had to take a back seat. The Queen's mother was even jealous of her own daughter after she became queen. Really? Oh, didn't know that. Queen's mother was all I knew much about her was that she was just a racist person. And it seems to me Prince Philip is always, I mean, for the time I've paid attention to Prince Philip, he's always taken a back seat to me. I don't ever recall him ever being on the forefront of pretty much anything. Apparently at home, like, he was in charge because she, as Charles says, was kind of like a cold fish, and so he was basically the one that was basically the kids go to as the parent, and while she was queening. So yeah, very interesting. Let's see. Michelle Fierce, awesome name, Michelle. There, Michelle says the royals and the press need each other. The press come in handy when needed, like in case to chase her out, being so jealous of Meghan's power with the public. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. They definitely, the press and the royals definitely do deserve each other. They are, I mean, it's you would think, everyone's like, oh yeah, it would be great to get rid of the Tories, which they do need to get rid. But I only wish they would have, or the Tories leader, I'm sorry, the Labour leader would be someone who would actually do something about the press. But that's not Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer will do nothing to change or to get regulations, at least even to get Leveson Part 2. He wouldn't do any of it. Why? Because he's bought and paid for. And we saw him being one of them at Rupert Murdoch's party. And so that's when I knew in the summer, I was like, if you're looking, I mean, we talked about this when that party thing was happening. If you're looking for anything in the press to change, Keir Starmer is not your person. He's bought and paid for. And not only that, a couple of days ago, he had an interview where he talked about he would be okay to write articles for The Sun, for Rupert Murdoch. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he from Liverpool? Isn't Liverpool the place? And if he isn't Liverpool the town or the city that bans, or basically nobody there reads The Sun because of what they did to the people there? And if I'm not mistaken, so our squaddies, that I'm not online at the moment, so our UK squaddies, maybe correct me, isn't Keir Starmer from Liverpool? So it just, yeah, he literally flat out said he would be interested in writing articles for Rupert Murdoch tabloid. This is the person running for prime minister, and he's the head of the Labour Party. It just, amazing. It's just like, okay. Yeah. um Unbelievable. Let's see what else is there. Little Max says, "Oh, she's talking to Sylvia. Thanks for that information. I only started looking at the royal family because Meghan reminded me of a friend. My friend's mother-in-law hated her because she was black. Ugh, oh, that I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine living in that situation. Ew. Um, let's see." Marjorie says the royals actually fed the press with lies, etc., about Meghan and Harry and Meghan. Also, their abuse did not have the racial undertones nor death threats. Royal abuses were different. Yeah, definitely different. Yeah, obviously, Sophie and Edward and stuff like that were, they're not black or any of that stuff. So, yes, which is what we mentioned before. It's like, yeah, but what they did to them was very abusive. It was still abusive. Whatever you think of Kate, they were abusive to her as well. And but obviously, with Meghan, it's like to the 100th degree, because then you had the race element, you had the xenophobia, you had all of that stuff. Meghan is a divorcee. I mean, putting all of those things together, and it's just like, ground zero for all forms of hate. And again, because they had not taken care of the other stuff, by the time it got to Meghan, it's like the British, they just was like, okay, it's free reign. We get to do anything we want to do. So yeah, yeah. Diane Hawkins says Vicky Arbiter highly recommended the Beckham's Netflix, so that's sufficient reason for me not to watch. My thoughts are she wants to drive up viewership with them and decrease the Sussex impact. No trust. Look, I'm gonna watch the Beckham's thing. I think someone posted a screenshot from Victoria Arbiter where she was like praising Beckham because he was able to withstand the abuse from the press. And it's like, he just went out there and did his thing and was successful. So it's great. So that's what you basically need to overcome all the hate from the press. And that's the kind of mentality. I mean, you think about Victoria Arbiter for a second. This is the same girl who was wailing about her eyelashes falling out and has done all kinds of things, including blaming Sussex Squad and, claiming that she was attacked and abused and all of this stuff. This is the same person who has been wailing for how long ago was that video? Like 2-3 years ago, whatever it was, She cried every white woman's tears claiming abuse, and yet here she is claiming that, it's okay that he was abused. See, he fought through it and he was successful, therefore it's okay. Instead of addressing the very thing she's been wailing about, abuse. Why should David Beckham have had to fight through abuse and all of that? Why should anybody have to deal with abuse? And that's the problem with people from the UK. This very barbaric culture where it's like, it's okay to be abused as long as you fight through it. You're great as long as you fight through it. Don't you dare talk about that abuse. Don't you dare talk about the fact that I'm abusing you. Don't you dare talk about it. And it's disgusting. I mean, and when you come back at them, how narcissistic they are, when you come back at them, then they start crying victimhood. As you see with the royal family and the press now, the Sussexes were, outed them. All of a sudden, they're trying and claiming they are victims of attacks, and it's craziness. But yeah, if you want to watch the back, I'm gonna watch it. I don't think for me, at least, she blocked me, so I can't really see her tweet. I just saw a post. Someone posted her a screenshot of what she said about the Beckhams. I didn't take it as, again, I don't know if she posted more about them. So if you see, and that's, your take on it, then that's fine. But the post that I saw, she was just basically lauding them for coming through strong after being abused. And I was like, girl, just sit down. Your eyelashes may start running away from you again, you know. But yeah. But yeah, for me, that's, look, if it, you know, if it gains views, and it's, for me, that's neither here nor there. You know, the Sussexes documentary has done what it needs to do. It is there. People are still watching it. And even if, you know, I mean, it's David Beckham. You know, even if it surpasses it's David Beckham. So for me, it's just not, yeah. I don't really have an issue with it at all. I'm gonna watch it because, I mean, one, I don't really know anything about him, and he has a very high voice. I didn't really know. I don't know. Did I ever hear him speak before? I was just like, that's what he sounds like. Oh, that's interesting. I was just like, his voice and he like the face and the voice for some reason doesn't match up with me, and probably because I don't know his voice. It just seems so weird. So every time I hear the sound, I was like, oh wait, that's David Beckham speaking. It's just really wild. So I mean, I don't, other than, you know, I hear the name and he plays, but plays, you know, football. I don't really know anything about his life. I, you know, I didn't even know that he grew up poor. Like, it's the first time I'm learning any of this stuff. So very, very interesting. I didn't grow up, or I didn't pay attention to people in the UK. So for me, it's just all learning. So it's very interesting to learn who he is. And it's just like, oh, wow. So yeah, I had no idea that, you know, the stuff that went on in his life. But again, the reason why I started watching was the person who was bringing it up on Twitter was talking about the abuse. And then I saw the post from Victoria Arbit. I was like, okay, I got to watch this. So yeah. Joan Hickey said Beckham's wife, Victoria, really suffers abuse and was blamed for everything. Yeah, even like, yeah, I remember during COVID, they were blaming her, I think, because they're saying that she took money from the government for her staff or something like that. And I'm like, so did a lot of other people, you know, so did a whole lot of people, but she got a lot of abuse for it. And I know they had moved to the US a few years ago. So I don't know if they're still here or they went back to the UK, but I know they left. And again, it's the same thing, that very barbaric culture. People get famous or successful, they walk away. Nobody needs to put up with abuse. Jermaine says, let Victoria Arbiter continue. There are so many examples of karma for Meghan and Harry haters. In Trini Twang, she heard hard. I'm Trini, or at least Tobago. I don't even know what that means. So explain, Jermaine. Explain. Let's see. Anne Louise. Let's see, Anne. Anne said, oh, she's talking to Church Nelly. Yes, Beckham left England a few years before they had their last child, daughter Harper. Harper. So are they still in the US, or did they go back? Like, I haven't paid attention. Did they go back to the UK? I don't know. I know that the older one, what is the older one's name? Brooklyn? Yeah, I think it's Brooklyn. He married an American girl. I think it's Brooklyn is the older one. I think he married this rich American girl. So I was like, oh, see, they're all, you know, at least I'm assuming he is here with her. So yeah. Helen says, Church Nelly, the Beckons have a home in the Cotswolds. Oh, so I guess they're back in the UK. Oh, okay. I'm assuming the Cotswolds is the UK. So okay. Interesting. Oh, it's in Belgium, not Germany. Thank you. See, I don't know about countries like facts, but gymnastics competition was in Belgium, not Germany, as you stated. Thank you. I don't know why. Somehow, in my head, Antwerp was Germany. I don't know why that is then. Why did I think it was in Germany? Huh, that's wild. Oh my goodness. Thank you for saying that, because in my head, I just saw it and I thought it was Germany. I didn't realize it was Belgium. Oh, all this time. I was just like, oh, wow. Thank you guys for your correction. See, I don't know geography. Oops. Sorry, everybody. All of this time I'm watching and I thought it was in. Oh, Okay, never mind. Thank you, Jen, and everybody else here who are telling me that no, it's in Belgium, not Germany. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know why in my head that was what that was. So thank you for the correction. I appreciate. Let's see. Trisha says, didn't the Beckhams leave England and now live in America? That's what I thought too. So maybe they live in both places. Maybe they have a place there in the UK, and which is, I mean, they're rich. Them, which is very likely. They have a place there and they have a place here. Because I remember when they had moved to Los Angeles, I think. So yeah, because there was always a lot of thing with them, with Tom Cruise and some other celebrity in California that used to hang out together. So yeah, I don't know if they still do. Because the last time I checked, I think Tom Cruise is now in the UK. I think. Let's see. Let's see. Sylvia said David Beckham also said he had people around him insulating him from that hate and abuse. Well, that's good. That's good because I just started it, so I haven't gotten there yet. I just started where he is just getting literally just started it. So I think the Manchester United person that just come to the family, I guess, to recruit him. So that's how I just started it. So I haven't gotten to any of that part yet. So yeah, so that's good to know that he was insulated because nobody needs to deal with that. I mean, look at what they're doing to Marcus Rashford and the other football. I mean, it's sick. It is really, really sick. It's like miserable people with no lives just attacking people because they are miserable. It's gross. Vinny says nobody should have to withstand abuse. Hello, stop abusing people to start with. Victoria just trying to justify press abuse. Exactly. And yet when she gets abused, she's the first one to be screaming that her eyelashes are falling out. It's just amazing. Amazing. Helen says, any Brit here? Jimmy Savile drama. Ooh, 9 p.m. tonight. Oh God, I can't imagine how. Ooh. If you don't know Jimmy Savile, research, and he's a friend of the king. It's just like who was, at least when he was alive. And he has a knighthood from the queen, which he refused to take away from him. Yeesh. Let's see. Cho says William the Coward couldn't rebuff a simple man in his countryside seeing royal family walking. Frightened, quickly called his security. Going for peace talk, really? Maybe his body double. William can't talk his way out of a paper bag. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere near that. Audie Impossible says Beckham's story was an eye-opener. Oh, so you saw it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd love to know what other people. I mean, if you're gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch it. Again, I don't know anything about his life, and I really want to know about his life. So yeah. Let's see. Nola Thandu. Hello, Nola Thandu from our awesome South African squad. He says, the Sussexes are marching on and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Oh, well, there you go. Power. Thank you, Nola Thandu. They are definitely marching on and marching into New York. I'm assuming they're here by now. And we'll, Lord willing, keeps us all safe. We'll see them tomorrow, hopefully. Karen Warner says Meghan stopped it. She did not join the nastiness and the behavior they promoted between them and between them and the press and the tabloid. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love this point, Karen. I absolutely love this point. Her and Harry totally broke that cycle. And you can see the effects of it now. A lot of their job is now redundant. Yeah, she did definitely broke that cycle of feeding that stuff to the press. The rest are still doing it, but as long as it has to do with Harry and Meghan, they have definitely broke that cycle. So yeah, um, thank you. Great point there, Karen. A couple more before we end. Anne Lewis says it was the Hollenbury football disaster and the president and the Sun newspaper report demonized the victims. The Sun was banned from Liverpool. What? Yeah, when they're saying like the Liverpool fans did all these horrible things, and so they banned it. But I have to, again, if anybody knows about Keir Starmer, for some reason I thought he was from Liverpool, but I could be wrong. I thought he was from there. But it would be very interesting him talking about he would be okay to write for the Sun, even though they banned the Sun from his home city, I guess. Let's see. Fatumata says every politician in England, whatever side of the aisle they are, has to be stamped approved by one or two barons of the tabloid. I learned for the situations with the Sussexes how sinister institutions are, which is very true. There is a video. I have to go back and find this video because I saw it over the past week of this guy who used to work with, I think he used to work with David Cameron, talking about this very thing about basically Rebecca Brooks. I think I think it was David Cameron when he won, there was this kind of line that he said, and that was kind of like a tagline for him, that it was basically given to him by Rebecca Brooks, and she was the one. Well, the guy, he said he brought it up, and Rebecca Brooke was like, that's the line we're going to use for him. And they used that line over and over in the press, and that helped David Cameron to win, I guess. And so it's really, really, interesting to watch these people who were, had high offices in government, now do interviews about what it was like and the things, and their relationship with the press. And it was all about bowing down to the press. And it's just like, are you serious? And it's the same thing with King Charles. One of the first people, when he was named king, when the Queen died, one of the first people he met with was the editor for the Sun. And she tweeted about it. She tweeted a picture of both of them. And it's just like, wow. It's just very, very, very interesting. Let's see. Karen says this is not innocent in all. There is not innocent in all the behavior of the press and the tabloid, because they wanted it, and it is for publicity. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter who got hurt. The others joined, and the family was okay with it. I'm assuming you're talking about Meghan, or if this is I'm not sure if this is a specific other thing you're talking about, but yeah. Let's see. Vinny says, a little bit about Sophie and Diana. Sophie was a Diana wannabe and wanted to step into her shoes. When she passed dressing like her, wearing her hair, etc. It must be the palace playbook to erase others. Hello. I'm telling you, I wouldn't put it past them, because again, the hair, I didn't know much about Sophie, but her hair definitely looked like how Diana was wearing her hair. So yeah, we see single white female doing the same thing now. It's just erasing memory of that person. It's really freaky that they do that stuff like that. But the good thing about it now is, like, before that would work because they didn't have social media, but now in real time we can do the matchups, you know what I mean, in real time. There is that, you could see, and so it's not as effective, I think, as it was back then. So yeah. So let's see. Noreen says, Pedal, I'm trying to keep up, missed a few info in the chat. Oh, that's okay. I'm trying to keep up too. That's all right, Noreen. You'll be in the same book, child. We are in the same boat. We're both trying to catch up. But I'm happy you're here. But although we're going to be ending in a second, so, but I'm just happy you're here. Let's get one more. End of this. There are a lot of shops that can sell Victoria Arbiter eyelashes, which she can probably get for free. You know, this woman never learns. She always sticks her foot in it. It's just like, you know. Oh my goodness. Oh, Coco says, Pedal, David Cameron is also a descendant of George. Oh, wow. George the Third's fifth son, William the Fourth. Oh, wow. So he is from, goodness, he got connections basically. Oi, 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 oi. You know, I'm telling you. Anyways, I think that's it, guys. I think I'm gonna go outside and enjoy the rest of. Oh my gosh, it looks like it's clouding. Okay, I'm gonna go outside and enjoy whatever little sun there is left because I see clouds again. But anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen. Thank you all so much for keeping us safe and wonderful. And our wonderful 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much. And to all of you who support in the chat. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. And I'm just going to put my little banner. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and like and share and join the channel. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic day, and I shall see you next time. Bye.